As I began my project, obviously I wanted to do something that was meaningful in my day-to-day existence. While writing in kindergarten comes with its own curriculum and model, I have not had much success with my students. We focus on small moment stories, but in my experience, 5-year-olds have a limited amount of small moments in their minds. It isn't a very concrete idea, as they must pull from their memories. Often their memories get mixed up with their imaginations, which often results in some very tall tales. Rather than continue on in that vein, I sought out an idea to help my students with their writing. As we all know, today's children are digital natives. That is, they have grown up with technology as a given. From cell phones to video games, from cable TV to satellite, our worlds are based on technology. It isn't often that one will find a home without a computer, and if the home is without one, most students have access to one somewhere. It makes sense to me to use what is commonplace in their lives to improve a skill that is a necessity to being successful in school. In kindergarten, we try to use hands-on, manipulative approaches to many subject areas. Why not try to find some way to incorporate something a little more concrete to help with their writing? Writing activities are an essential part of any kindergarten curriculum. Children can learn many important concepts from their writing. Writing allows them to communicate creatively. Most children begin their experience writing expecting that the adults around them will be able to read what they have written, regardless of whether it is scribbling, random letters, or words. Often this expectation leaves when formal writing is introduced. They begin to focus on how well rather than what they wrote. As educators, we must find a way to balance that thinking in order to continue to encourage students to write. Our goal as educators should be to create writers for life in our students. Technology can be looked at as a gift to the development of a student's writing skills. While some fear that technology and computers will take the place of creative play, others feel the use of technology can enhance the development of creative and intellectual thinking. Used properly, technology and computers can give students the opportunity to improve language skills, problem solving, and decision making. Technology also offers the opportunity for social integration as well as cooperation skills. Computers also allow students to develop a multitude of daily skills. Technology is becoming increasingly prevalent in early childhood and kindergarten classrooms. When done in a meaningful way, computers can provide students with a stimulating experience in problem solving, collaboration, and social negotiation. Take small steps to begin the writing process. Students began earlier in the year writing small moment stories, 1 or 2 sentences about a moment they had experienced. It was difficult to explain to them. Giving them a concrete prompt helped, but not much. Kindergartners are very concrete learners. Giving them something to look at and see allows them to use their eyes to help create their writing. Using www.picsforlearning.com, I began a new process. A photograph was selected from the options on the website. Projecting the photo on the Promethean board gives students a larger-than-life option to look at. Brainstorming is next. We write what we see. As a class, we brainstorm all of the things we see in the picture. Some of the comments were a seal, ice, water, flipper, green water. Students were then asked to write a single sentence about the photo. Student writing samples were varied, from single-letter sounds representing words to more than one sentence. Students enjoyed having a photo writing prompt. It gave them something concrete to work with. They had a visual to look at. Writing about a small moment was in their heads. Writing with a photo gave them something to look at and to see. During the lesson, we examine the photo and brainstorm. Students are asked to be as detailed as possible in their observations. As they give their ideas, I write them on the old-fashioned whiteboard. The more things we are able to pick out of the photo, the more ideas the students have to write about. The visual continues to be displayed throughout the brainstorming session and into the writing portion of the lesson to give the students a frame of reference for the writing. This lesson was early in the year, and students who were not able to put words or sounds onto paper drew a picture. Often those students would also write random letters to go with their picture. This is a developmental step in kindergarten writing, and we encourage the writing of letters for those students who are not ready for sounding out or writing sight words. Often in kindergarten, adult readers are unable to decipher student writing. We use the underwriting technique to show grown-up readers what they say. Often students will copy words down from the brainstorming board with no thought to a coherent message. Kindergartners have diverse abilities when it comes to writing. We as teachers accept and encourage any attempt at writing. Whether students copy from the board or use their sight words to form simple sentences or completely create sentences from what they see, we want them to feel confident in their writing ability. Any and all work is celebrated with the students. These writing samples are from early in the second trimester of school.
There is snow on the dog.
As we fast forward in our writing, we enter the computer lab to incorporate more technology. By uploading photographs into the software program KidPix, we are ready to begin using more and more technology. Students are given the option to choose from several uploaded photos as their background. After selecting their background, they are asked to write a sentence. Children are always eager to use technology, and having the opportunity to use a computer lab for our writing was an added bonus. As stated in my lit review, there is some concern about kindergarten students and adult-sized keyboards. My students managed very well to use the keyboards on the adult-sized computer. At this stage in their development, they are using the hunt and peck method of typing, and unless there is a student who does not know their letters, hunting and pecking work just fine. Occasionally, someone may get frustrated and ask for help finding a letter, but for the most part, sentence writing was a positive experience for all. It was an added bonus to have 3 adults in the room for questions and concerns. The IT was there, as well as our high school helper, and both were impressed with the writing ability of the kindergartners. When kindergartner or early writers are finished writing, it is always important to have them read their writing aloud. It gives them a voice, but also it is important for them to recognize what they write. It is easy to write a sentence, but it gives it more meaning if a student reads it back to someone. Often in an early developing writer, they may write a string of random letters, but are often able to put words to that thought. It is important to their development that those random letters are treated the same as a student who has written a sentence phonetically or with correctly spelled words. Student work varies by abilities, but all students wrote a sentence. Some sentences are more advanced than others, but they are still sentences. Even though some of the examples are not complete, every student was able to write a sentence. In the end, my students excelled at writing. Out of 18 students, 12 scored extending, which means they wrote more than was required, while 5 scored proficient. 1 scored developing. On a good day in kindergarten, everyone is successful at something. It may be a stretch to find something, and it may be something as simple as coloring a picture. Finding a way to make all students successful at writing is iffy at best. Using a variety of technology to enhance both instruction and work product for kindergartners is a dream come true. Finding a way to take writing from a hated chore to a preferred activity is a gold mine. Even when using pencil and paper, writing was an enjoyable learning activity for my students. Using the Promethean board to project photos, show examples of software programs, or brainstorm words to go with our writing activity was invaluable. Going into the computer lab and using the computers as an instrument for writing activities was priceless. My students have a jump on first grade with their writing ability, and I get the honor of looping to first grade with them and celebrating in that writing ability. As schools are under increasing pressure to demonstrate improved academic performance and younger students are required to master literacy concepts once taught in upper grades, the possibilities for using technology to support instruction provides a functional and realistic approach to increase writing scores. Capitalizing on the students' love of all things technical and using it to foster writing will stay with students throughout their school years and perhaps even longer. As cited by the experts in the field, finding the best mix between literacy activities and technology will increase students' writing abilities, build collaboration skills, and immerse them in a digital world. It provides teachers with the opportunity to differentiate instruction to better meet the needs of each individual student. The use of technology to reach the digital natives of today and tomorrow has begun, and with each passing day, as data is collected, it gains its meaningfulness and purpose.